Students, welcome back to one more session of International Financial Management. So I'll be sharing the screen now. So in our last class, we have talked about different modes of doing business, then the different international theories, difference between multinational and transnational companies, and also we discussed about the agency problems that MNC face and how can they control that agency problem through management controls and corporate controls. So management control means you are doing centralized, decentralized administration, whereas corporate control includes giving them bonuses in the form of stock options. So we'll move on to our next topic in international financial management, that is international flow of funds. So when you say international flow of funds, we have one concept called as balance of payment. Now, what do you mean by this balance of payment? I think you have heard it before in some other discussions. So we'll just recall it, or if you don't know, we'll try to learn it. Okay, so balance of payment is a summary of the transactions between domestic and foreign residents for a specific country over a specific period of time. Say, for example, it is all those inflows and outflows of cash, goods, and services in terms of trade, in terms of financial receipts, in terms of investment, asset buying, and so on between a country and the rest of the world. Say, for example, when you call domestic country, it is India, and the rest of the world, what all we Indians have exchanged, maybe by buying, selling, that is imports and export, or through foreign direct investment, foreigners investing in India, or Indians investing abroad, buying assets abroad, or maybe Indians are working outside, the salary is sent home, or foreigners working in India, salary is sent to their home country. So all types of income payments, trade, sales, financial investments, these all contribute to balance of payment. So this is like a balance sheet of total Indians with respect to the transactions with the rest of the world. So it is inflow of funds which generate credits and outflow of funds, that is debits. Means any income, any inflow is termed as debit, credit, and outflow is termed as debit. So I told you it is a record of economic transactions. When we say economic transaction, it includes everything: salaries, trade, buying assets, selling assets, and everything else between the two countries and the rest of the world. So it is a double entry system. Why? Because whatever inflow is there, we term it as credit, and whatever outflow is there, we term it as debit. So when you say residents, I said domestic residents and rest of the world. So when we say domestic residents, it includes individual people, individual citizens, or it may include businesses, corporates, firms, government bodies, agencies, all other legal or artificial person or real person. We have studied this in accounts that when we say about an individual account, it includes both the real person as well as the artificial person. When we say real person, it is about human beings, individual citizens who are citizens of one particular, legal citizen of one particular domicile, means one particular country. An artificial person means all other bodies, say banks, business houses, firms, corporate houses, government agencies, and everything else. So any receipt of payment from the foreigners is termed as credit transaction. Any payment to the foreigners is considered as debit transaction. So when we say a credit transaction, what all will include? It includes merchandise exports. Merchandise means physical goods. Okay, saleable goods. It may be, say for example, handicraft, gemstones, garments, finished petroleum products, textiles, then so on and so forth. Then transportation and travel receipts means any person who is using our transport and the money from that, maybe it is tourism or transport of products, goods, all these receipts are considered as inflows. Then income received from investment abroad. Say a Indian or a corporate of India has invested in another country in terms of stock or shares, and any income received from such investment what he has made abroad is termed as income, and so it is a credit transaction. It also includes gift received from foreign residents. Okay, so say your relatives are citizens of another country, they send you gifts, that is also a inflow of money. Then aids received from foreign governments. Say every government, if needed, can get funds or sponsors or loans from other countries or world bodies or world banks. So any such amount received is termed as a credit transaction. Then one more thing is foreigners investing in India, which we call it as foreign direct investment, FDIs. So investment made by foreigners in our country is also termed as a credit transaction. Now we'll look into what are the debit transactions, means the outflow of money. So when we are importing products, merchandise products imports, means when we are importing machinery, crude oil, fertilizers, and so on and so forth from another country, we are paying money in terms of dollars or pounds or euros. So money is flowing from our country to another country, so it is considered as an outflow, and so it is a debit transaction. Next is travel and transportation expenditure. So whenever people are coming to India, okay, so when they are using, say for example, whenever we are going outside, we are using their travel. Say we are going to a foreign country, we are using a German Lufthansa airplane, or you can say some other countries aviation services or transport reservation. So we are paying them amount, so that is a travel expenditure, and so it is a outflow of cash. Then if we give gifts to foreigners, if foreigners are working here or they have invested here and we give them income, that is also a debit transaction. Then next is aids given by home country to others. Then overseas investment by Indians. So whatever in credit transactions we have taken, the opposite of that is an outflow and is considered as a debit transaction. So when you record all these positive and negative transactions, that is debit and credit, it should balance. Okay, it should be equal, but it is not equal all the time. Sometimes it is a surplus or sometimes it is a deficit. So when your credit transactions are more than the debit transactions, we call it as a positive balance of payment, also called as surplus. Means more of money is coming into India than we are expending or spending outside. So more and more cash flow from outside is coming into India. So it is a favorable for the balance of payment situation, also called as surplus. Another one is when the outflow of money is more than the inflow of money, means we are spending more on outside products, we are sending more amount outside than what is coming into India. We call it as a deficit balance of payment. Most of the times India is having a deficit balance of payment because of the huge imports that we spend on. So we'll talk about what does balance of payment include. Now, balance of payment include three things. One is the current account, one is the capital account, and another one is the financial account. So to start with, we'll talk about what is current account of balance of payment. So current account of balance of payment includes all monetary value of international flows. So it includes transaction in goods, in services, in income, and unilateral transfers. So when you say transaction in goods, it is called as merchandise trade, that is exports and imports. So all of the goods that India imports and exports that contribute merchandise trade. So I told you current account is a summary of all the flow of funds between a specific country and the rest of the world in purchase of goods, services, income, and financial assets. So here balance of trade, the key components include balance of trade, factor income, and transfer payments. Okay, unilateral transfer, what I told about. So merchandise trade balance, it is the dollar value of all merchandise export. So it is a credit transaction because when you export something, money is flowing in. So all the total value of products which are exported from India to outside countries is merchandise exports. On the other hand, the dollar value of everything which we have bought from other countries, that is imported, that is a debit transactions because we are paying for it. So if exports are more than income, we have a surplus trade balance. If imports are more than exports, then we have a deficit trade balance, means we are buying more of foreign products than we are selling to them. Then it not only balance of current account balance doesn't only include merchandise trade, but it also includes services. So say if you're talking about US imports and exports of services, it is all that US gets from another country or sells in terms of services. Or maybe say if we talk about India, we sell more of IT services and we import different types of services. Okay, so here also we can have a positive or a negative balance of service balance. Okay, so when you talk about services include, it includes transportation, IT, teaching, professional consultancy, engineering consultancy. So all these things, tourism, everything includes in services. So more of people are coming to India. We say that the export, tourism exports is more. If we are spending more on foreign tours, we say tourism imports is more. Okay, so based on how much services are bringing in cash or spending cash outside, we can have a favorable service balance or a deficit service balance. Okay, so that's what I told you. So net exports is including positive and negative, that is imports of services and imports of goods, which is subtracted from GDP. Then next item in current account is income receipts and payments. So when you say income receipts and payments, it is a net earnings of US investments abroad. Or if you talk about Indian context, it is a net earnings of Indian people's investments made outside countries, which is coming into India. So this is an example of, say, in US income receipts and payments. So the same thing, you can convert it. Instead of USA, you can write it as Indian. So when Indians are receiving money from outside, it is a receipt or a current account receipt for Indians. Even maybe the investment or the salaries your relatives are sending back home. Okay, so this is a summary of what we have done. So current account includes trade of goods, services, net income earnings from rent, interest, profits, dividends, and net transfer of funds. Now we'll talk about what does India exports. So India exports petroleum products, mineral fuels, oil, gems, precious metals, machinery, computers, electric machinery, equipment, chemicals, iron and steel, and so on. It also includes handicrafts, garments, and so it's a very big list. I have only listed down a few important ones. Then what do we import? As we all know, India spends a lot of amount on crude petroleum, gold, pearls, precious stones, telecom instruments, industrial machinery, oils, fats, waxes, and so on. Okay, so these are the major imports. Now we'll look about which are the top 10 import sources of India. So we have about 13% of our imports are from China, and in terms of billion dollars, it is ranked number 1. Next to it is USA, then UAE. Now China, what we are exporting, we all know, right? How many Chinese persons have been flooded in Indian market, and recently they have been banned. USA also is a major partner in imports. Then UAE, Arab, Iraq, all these are oil producing countries and we buy oil from there and so on. So these are the 10 major countries which we have imports from. Similarly, we have Hong Kong, Korea, Singapore, Indonesia. So last these 4 are supplying us with electronic goods parts, or you can say the individual machine parts. Next, we look out into the top 10 destinations for Indian exports. So our number 1 is USA, then UAE, China, Hong Kong. So we have a similar kind of exporting countries, and so we have about 15% of our export is to USA and remaining one. So India is exporting most of finished jewelry, finished cut or finished diamonds, IT sector, garments, all these, even say agricultural produce and so on. Now I'll show you the list of top 10 economies which is having the highest or largest surplus of BOP. So Germany stands in rank 1, and you can see that India is nowhere because India doesn't have a surplus, or you can say more. What do you mean by surplus? Cash inflows are more than outflows. So we find India here because it comes in another chart. So here in this list we have Germany, which is having, now this is CAB is written in the 3rd column. It means current account balance. Okay, so it is in terms of billion dollars. You can see the figure. So it is a figure of 2017. So we have Germany, then Japan, then China. Even you don't find USA here. Then deficit balance countries. Here you have USA. 3rd position is India. So USA, we think that is a large, big country, but it is having a huge deficit balance of trade. Means it is spending more outside, then it is selling outside. Okay, it is not selling more, but more of things it is spending outside more. So it is ranked number 1 here. India is in position 3. So this is the data of 2017 to 19. So first one is USA, then UK, India, Canada. Also we feel it is a rich country, but it is also having a large deficit balance. Means outflows of cash is more than the inflows. Okay, so these are the 10 countries with largest deficit of current account. What is current account? The balance of all export imports of goods, services, income receipts, and unilateral transfers. Okay, so that's all for today. This is all about the first part of international flow of funds. Means we have studied what is balance of payment. Balance of payment includes 3 things: current account balance, financial account balance, and capital account. So we have studied in detail about what is current account balance. Okay, so any queries you can comment, like, share, and do feel free to ask anything and raise the questions. I'll see to it that your questions are answered. Have a good day. So we'll meet in our next session. So that's all for today. Bye.